So welcome back, guys. I did promise to make a video on this in my previous video. So it's about China becoming a green superpower. So we know China's been doing a lot of stuff. They're the by far the biggest investors in renewable technologies, and they've been investing a lot in building up that renewable infrastructure. So they have the largest electric bus fleet in the world, and a lot of other things. So a lot of like the largest solar parks, or whatever you want to call them, largest hydropower dams and stuff like that. Uh, a lot of electric buses, a lot of electric cars, um, and let's get into it. So on September 21st, last month, uh, their president, Xi Jinping, delivered a speech to the United Nations General Assembly. So one thing people got confused with was that they thought that China was going to stop coal power plant construction within the country, and that's incorrect. It was actually for foreign investment. So wherever they were investing in, like mostly in developing countries, they're gonna stop coal power plant construction. I don't think there's a set date for that. I think they're just gonna stop it, like slowly start phasing it out. But yeah, so it's like for projects like the Belt and Road Initiative, where they invest in energy production and stuff like that, they are going to stop using coal power plants, basically, and they're going to switch to renewables in that case. So I'm guessing they hit that margin where it's cheaper to build renewables than coal power plant. The pledge is nested in the climate goals of the People's Republic to reach peak coal use before 2030 and net carbon emissions by 2060. Both are very peak coal is within the country, of course, and that's before 2030, and net zero carbon emissions by 2060. Basically, just no carbon emissions by 2060, and those are two very ambitious targets for a country the size of China. And this is from Nikkei Asia. So it is well known that China finances the vast majority of new coal-fired power plants worldwide, and that at least that's what U.S. security, I think, state ghouls like Jeff Nesbitt, author of Peace, a novel in which Israel bombs Iranian nuclear facilities, want us to believe. The truth is that the People's Republic of China provides the largest amount of public funding for new coal plants, but that private capital provides the largest amount of total funding for coal. So basically, it's not actually the Chinese government that is primarily responsible for the funding of coal plants. Most most of them are actually funded by private capital because it's more profitable in that case. So you got a few links there. The Global Coal Public Finance Tracker shows us how Chinese public funds provide for coal plants in the third world. This is a part of the vast international infrastructure project, and yeah, I mentioned that before. While the debate over the future of domestic coal power continues in China, This announcement still represents an enormous step towards a carbon neutral future. Um, so yeah, so as it says there, Chinese firms and government organizations are already developing and installing renewable power sources at an accelerating rate. So it's like an exponential growth. Also, the whole reason why solar is so cheap now is primarily because of China. So we got to keep that in mind. So here, China wants to test vanadium. I think that's how it's pronounced. Redox flow batteries. Um, so while they're investing in vanadium redox flow batteries, unlike the lithium batteries used in Teslas, they do not explode. Yeah, I think it's more the build quality of the Teslas built in America that's the issue. Vanadium flow redox batteries also last 20 to 30 years instead of 5 and have much higher energy storage capabilities, making them ideal for green energy storage. That's very impressive. So the whole deal with the batteries and energy and stuff is that energy dissipates over time. Uh, so we want to like store as much energy as possible, but it's pretty hard. And also like transferring electricity over long distances, it starts to like dissipate as well. That's another issue, and that's China's found somewhat of a fix to it. But I'm not an expert in that area, so I won't comment too much on it. So they're also the world's top producer of vanadium, a metal found alongside iron in mined ore. China produced 40,000 megatons in 2019, and that was double what Russia, more than double, have what Russia has at 18,000. Um, so, and yeah, at the pace China's going, the oil drunk festival will be asking China to upgrade their power grid before America can even decide whether or not to frack Alaskan nature reserves. And fracking is just an environmental disaster. See, it's just terrible. Uh, of course, WSJ drilling in Alaska is good for the earth. Of course, they would say that. And while droughts, wildfires, hurricanes, and floods are erasing American cities, one thing becomes more and more clear. The 21st century is going to be the Chinese century. So I think that is it. Yeah, Qing Shi, and yeah, that's it. Uh, so the interesting blog. It's called liminalstates.politics.blog. If you want to check it out, no links will be provided in the description. I think by and large it's a pretty good summary of what's happening. And yeah, I got two other videos coming that I'll be recording today. As for whether they'll be uploaded, I'm not sure. The last one is a big video because it focuses on a Quora answer that is quite big. And yeah, I'll see you then.